Welcome back to another episode of Hypixel Skyblock Ironman. In today's episode, we're going to be getting our second time charm in the Rift, the Mirrorverse time charm. So let's get into it. So the next thing we need to do here in the Rift is we need to go to the village since we completed the Black Lagoon. We do have some Enigma souls we need to grab, but that won't be too hard. Okay, so to enter the West Village, it takes another 3 minutes of our rift time. So we're back down to 9 minutes, but that's not too bad. So let's get started in here. So there's these things called shadows, and they dig up under the ground and chase you. And you have to dodge them. And then you get the shadow cruxes. And to upgrade our crux talisman to a crux ring, we need to get 16 total of these shadow cruxes. So let's do that quickly. And our Crux Talisman just upgraded, so now we get additional Crux Fortune from upgrading our Shadow Milestone. So now we have ourselves 16 Shadow Cruxes, and we can upgrade our Crux Talisman to the Crux Ring. So one of the Enigma souls in the Black Lagoon we didn't get was this one where we have to do this parkour. So let's get it real fast. If this video teaches you anything, it'll probably be that I am very challenged when it comes to parkour in Minecraft. Nope. Oh. Again? Come on. Now let's do it for real. And there we go, we now have ourselves yet another Enigma soul. And we can go to the unhinged Clune here. And he gave us this retro encabulating visor. And if we equip it, we can see all these cable locations. So let's go fix the hacked cables. So basically how this works is in each of these terminals, there are 5 numbers at the top of the terminal, and you need to stop them under where that number is in the top row. So when the number comes into contact with that column, you need to click on it. And this mod just kind of helps you visualize that. And there we go, we completed our first terminal. So let's go do the other ones. Second terminal done. Okay, there we go. Third terminal. And there's our fourth terminal complete. Fifth terminal done. And that's the sixth terminal. Seventh terminal completed. And that's the final terminal we needed to complete. So let's go back to the hacker and talk to him. And we get an accessory that gives us another minute of rift time. So over here in this house, we have Joey McPizza and the chef. So what we need to do is we need to feed Joey McPizza 50 hot dogs in 1 minute, and that unlocks us an Enigma Soul. We got Joey to eat 55 hot dogs with the help of Dragonfly. And then we get ourselves this Enigma Soul. But now let's see if we can get the Enigma Soul that's hidden in this house. And there we go. Now that we've ate our way through all that cake, we got ourselves another Enigma Soul. So that's pretty helpful. Oh, there's another one on the main floor as well that I missed. There we go. Another thing we can do is Gunther's Race over in this house. Basically, this is a parkour-based race that goes all the way around the village area. Oh no. Oh man. Yikes. Not again. I very much struggle when it comes to parkour, which is a bit of a problem for this episode. Last try here, and then we'll figure something else out. And we did it. Okay, we finally did the race. So let's see. We got ourselves a dark pebble. Not really sure what this does, but we have it, so that's something. Little did I realize I'd have to come back as well and do the race in under 35 seconds. We can also come over here to Cosmo and talk to him, and he'll put us down in a little cave where we can swim through it like a dolphin and get ourselves yet another Enigma Soul, so let's do that here. And there we go, we made it to the end of the dolphin thing and got ourselves our 16th Enigma Soul, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, Sorcerer Akron gave us a warding diamethane, and we can use this to cast these different glyphs that he wants us to cast to help him defend from the meteor. It can be found by the pond below for this first glyph. Aha, we found it. It's just in this barrel. So we've given him our Validus glyph, and now we can imbue the glyph on the side of the house, he says. So here's the glyph, and you just have to trace it with the diamethane that you were given, and you have to be fairly precise or else it resets. And there we go, we finished our first glyph. After you cast each glyph, you go back to Sorcerer Akron here and ask him to find where the next glyph is. This is a pretty repetitive process, so let's just go get this done real fast. And there's our Fortis glyph. And here's our next glyph. And here's our next glyph. And here it is. So there's our Viz glyph. Here's our next glyph. And there we go, the Firmitas glyph. And here we go, the Potentia glyph, our last glyph that we need to complete this quest. And there we go, we've now casted the last glyph, and now he's going to teleport us into safety. And now he's given us another accessory to give us some extra rift time. Another thing we should be able to do here is go up onto this roof. I'm not sure if we can get up onto that roof. I need to make sure first, actually. So we can jump onto this little thing, and then we can actually place down some string. And then I guess we need to place it a little further back there. But then we can use our silk wire stick and ride all the way up here. And then we can grab some of our other silk. One to put down there, and then we'll go onto that roof real quick. Place it down here. Use our silk wire stick. And there we go, we can break the glass and get ourselves another Enigma soul. So the next thing we need to do is actually look for the Montezuma soul. So let's find that real fast. Seems like it's on top of this building somewhere. And there we go, we found the Montezuma soul on top of this building. And now it's time to go over to Kat. So Kat here wants us to disinfect this house from vermin. So now Kat's given us this vacuum cleaner for us to deal with the infection problem. And also there is an Enigma soul here that we can get from this, so let's get to work on it. So now we need to empty our vacuum into this vermin bin. And there we go. So let's get some spiders and flies so we can get those gloves. So now we've gotten some spiders and flies. We can empty them in the bin. And now we can afford to get ourselves these disinfector gloves. We do just need to get a few more shadow cruxes though. And now we can purchase ourselves the disinfector gloves from Kat and equip those. So now we have a full set here. The next thing we can unlock from Kat is the vermin belt. And it takes 15 flies as well as the leech belt. To get the leech belt, we need to go back to the Leech Supreme and kill it a couple times, as well as to get a few other things. So now it's time to go back to the Leech Supreme and kill it a couple times. There we go, we got 8 more fragments. This Leech Supreme is now dead. So that's 8 more fragments. And that should be all of them that we need now. So now we can take off our safety belt and upgrade it to the leech belt. And the next thing we need to do is get ourselves 11 more Hedgehog spines, so let's do that. Okay, so now we can upgrade our sword to the leech sword. And the last upgrade we'll have to do requires lil pads, so we'll kill some more lagoon leeches. And there we go, we have ourselves 2 stacks of lily pads. And we can make ourselves the aspect of the leech. So this is nice because you can teleport around using it. It's only a couple blocks, but it's better than nothing. So now we're here at Roy, and we can trade 4,000 motes and 8 Hedgehog spines for an Enigma Soul, so let's do that. And there we go, another Enigma Soul acquired. Aha, okay. So, in the Supreme Leech lair behind the waterfall, we found Montezuma's soul. So, that is another soul found. So we're here at Mushroom Guy in search of the Enigma Soul, and the Enigma Soul is up in that tree, but we can't teleport up there. So what we have to do is run by those mushrooms, and they stay active longer in this area. So we can do some parkour over to the Enigma Soul to get it. So let's go run by all these mushrooms to get them to pop up. And now we need to climb on top of this rock here. So now we can just, from this rock, jump onto the mushrooms and parkour all the way over. And then from this last mushroom here, we should be able to jump. And there we go, we were able to get ourselves the Enigma Soul. Now it's time to go back to Cat again. And now we put the fly in the bin, and we can afford ourselves a vermin belt. The next thing we need to do is get some more flies, spiders, and silverfish, and then we can get ourselves the Rift Ferret. And there we go, we should have collected all the vermin we need. And now we can get ourselves the Rift Ferret. However, we need 12 Riftwort roots, so we'll need to go farming in the Rift for a little bit. But the next reward is the key to the infested house Enigma Soul. So we need to get 19 more silverfish. So let's go get that real quick. And there we go. We should have 40 silverfish. And for 500 motes now, we have our key to the infested house Enigma Soul. So let's use this. And there we go. Now we have that Enigma Soul. And the next thing we need is to get a few more of each pest to get the fake neuroscience degree so that we can upgrade a spider and tarantula pet to mythic rarity. And there we go, we got our last vermin and emptied our bag. So now what we can do when we go back into the Rift is unlock the neuroscience degree and be able to upgrade our tarantula pet, and when we get one, a spider pet when they're legendary to a mythic rarity. We need to get 2 of these fake neuroscience degrees, and to do that we need to get 20 volt cruxes and 20 shadow cruxes. And there we go, we've gotten ourselves our shadow cruxes required. So now what we need to do is we need to head over towards this farm area. And there are these volts that we need to kill. And they spawn a bunch of lightning around. And it gives us these volt cruxes. We also need 16 of these to upgrade our crux ring into the crux artifact. So we need to get a total of 36. So how these volts work is after we smack it a little bit here, it spawns the emerald blocks, and we need to stand on them because they're the safe zone when it strikes its lightning. So we do this a couple times, and then we can smack it again, and then it gives us our Volt Crux. Okay, so we just got our 20 Volt Cruxes as well, and so now we can get ourselves the 2 fake neuroscience degrees. So let's go get that real quick, and there's 1. And there's 2. So now we can transfer these back over into the main world. Okay, so we're back here at Gunther, and we need to do the race in 35 seconds or less. So let's get started here. We have our aspect of the leech now, so hopefully this goes a little bit better. And there we go. We did the race in 33.5 seconds. So now we can talk to Gunther here and get ourselves the Gunthicizer Lichen. So we need a couple more Shadow Cruxes here, and then we can upgrade our boots. So let's get those real fast. Okay, so there we go. We now have our 8 Shadow Cruxes, and we can grab our boots here and make ourselves Gunther's sneakers. So additional speed and rift time. So this house has a basement, and in the basement is the Mirrorverse. So we spend 3 minutes of rift time, and now we enter. So if you'll notice, we're not losing any rift time. And this area has a bunch of different mini games and sections to go through, and gives us rewards like talismans. And it's actually the way we unlock the Mirrorverse time charm, which is the time charm for this area we've been working through. So we gotta complete it to get there. So this first puzzle, if you see there, we just flip that lever and we can see it on the other side of this mirror. So let's go flip the other ones now. And we just flipped all 4 levers and can enter in the first section here. So what we need to do is we need to, in this first area, follow the path that's on that side. I have a mod that you can see popping up showing me where to go, but through this entire thing I mostly ignore the mod, and it's not like I'm cheating myself out of doing this, as I've done it on my other profile before. Basically it's just a really useful tool to help people out and make the rift a bit easier to complete. So now we've made it to the other side here, and we just need to flip that lever and go to the next area. So now what we need to do is we need to get 2 fishing rods, 2 bows, and a lead. Here's the crafting table on our side, and the mod I have installed shows us where the mobs are. The zombies give us planks, and we can use those planks to craft ourselves sticks. The spiders drop string like normal, and the slime obviously drops slime balls. So we can just gather all those materials and make ourselves everything that's required in this area. Another interesting thing is that all the crafting recipes are mirrored. Maybe it's this way around. Yep, there we go. It's a wob. So let's craft ourselves 2 wobs. There's 1, there's 2. And now we need a bit more string again, and a few more sticks to get ourselves the fishing rods. So now we have all the materials and can craft ourselves the fishing rod. And we just need to get the lead. The Dale. There we go. And then we need this recipe up here. So the 2 fishing rods in the middle. The bows, and then our lead. And now we have a tiny hammer. The lever's on this side. I was just flipping the wrong side. There we go. We made it through. This challenge actually has a harder version, and what that does for us is it would give us a talisman if we were to complete it. Using this wooden button, we can activate the harder mode. And now it's back to some parkour fails. Unfortunate. Really? No jump. And there we go, we finally did it. We get ourselves an uncommon talisman. So we can transfer this over out of the rift and get ourselves some more magic power from that. So now let's move on to the next area. Okay, so we toggle which mirror is active by clicking on it. So if you see here, this mirror is currently active. The door isn't open. I can move back though, and now it's open. But if I were to try and go through it, it'd close. So then if I activate this mirror while that one is still on the pressure plate, the door stays open and I can walk through. So that's kind of how this area works. So if we step on that, then we can move room by room, I'm assuming here. And now we can walk through this room. So stand on this pressure plate, hit this button, jump through to here, and then we're on this pressure plate. What we gotta do from here, hit that button, and now we can walk through to here, and now we can walk through this door. Okay, so for this last puzzle, here's what we are gonna do. We stand on this pressure plate, then we switch over to here. We hit the button, we fly all the way up to here, and then switch back to this mirror. Now we open the door using this lever, and there is a button right there that we click, and it launches us up into this room. Now once we're in this room, we switch back over to the other mirror, and stand on that pressure plate. Then we switch over to the other mirror, hit the button, and run back to this room. Once we're in this room, what we need to do is we need to hit the button, switch mirrors, and now fly up into this room. And there we go. We completed that puzzle. So we should get ourselves the big brain talisman. There we go. So now there's this next room, which we need to do a dance for it. So this glass block we need to stand on, and then it tells us what we need to do throughout each portion. So once you make it far enough along in the dance, then the floor opens up. So we've earned our rights to go into this next section here, but we have to go further in the dance to be able to get the talisman, so we'll come back to that. So this is yet another parkour room where you have to jump from block to block all the way to the top of the room. There's 3 checkpoints you can reach, and how you're supposed to do this is by using the blocks that you can see on the other side of the mirror. There is a laser pointer you can use to help you, and you can kind of use it to see where blocks are based on where the particles show up. But we have a mod that shows us where the blocks are. And there was checkpoint 1. And there's checkpoint 2. And we just hit checkpoint 3. And there is a talisman for not using any checkpoints, and we'll get that as well. But let's explore this final area first. So basically, he just gave us some lore background for the Mirrorverse, and now we can look at the shop. Okay, so we can buy a few upgrades. Only thing we need are to get more shadow cruxes as well as motes. So there's this reflection book. We get the Mirrorverse time charm we can purchase in the shop, which is the whole point of why we came here, as well as the iron chest plate. We also get a motes reward of 60,000 motes for completing the Mirrorverse, so we'll claim that now, and we'll come back to get the rest of the stuff later. For now, let's go and work on trying to get all those talismans. So we just made it to the top again in one attempt and got ourselves the uncommon talisman. And now what we need to do is we need to go back and see if we can get the dance one. Getting this talisman was very painful for me. It took me probably about 2 hours of attempts to try and actually get it. What do you mean I didn't punch in time? I definitely punched. I punched! I punched! I punched! Okay, I actually have no idea what's going on with that one, to be completely honest with you guys. But we just gotta keep going until we get this talisman. And then we got this run. I think we finally did it. There we go, we did the full dance. Okay, that was incredible. We actually just did it. And now we can grab ourselves the Tiny Dancer Talisman. Now let's get ourselves the Time Charm and finish off this part of the rift. Okay, so we just finished getting all those cruxes that we need, and we can open the shop here and get ourselves the Time Charm. So now we have the Mirrorverse Time Charm that we can take over to the Rift Gallery, and if we pull our chest plate off here, we can actually buy ourselves the upgrade for the chest plate to the Iron chest plate. So now we have ourselves an Iron chest plate, and we have ourselves the Time Charm. So this area of the rift is now completed. One other thing we can do before we leave this area is we're actually gonna go tame the eye that's over here so that we can get back to this area much quicker. So let's start smacking Baba Yaga. And there we go, we've tamed the Baba Yaga. And so now we can teleport back to the Wizard Tower from there, and let's warp over to the Rift Gallery. And now that we're here in the Rift Gallery, we can complete the West Village, and that is this section completed. Thank you all for watching the video. I put a lot of time and effort into editing and recording the videos, so I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.